views. I don't want to be Mr. Views.
I need banana, tasty banana, put banana in my mouth, squeeze the peel, it comes in, then squeeze banana. Today, of course, we are playing Pokemon all day long. Pokemon Legends Arceus. We're going to do a 12-hour marathon of just catching every Pokemon in the game so I can see the secret ending. No. In fact, it's the opposite of what we're doing. I've actually there's been one person who's been so highly critical of me playing Pokemon. There was one person who was leaving comments on all the videos. Last night, I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West, and they came and ranted at the end of my stream in the stream chat. Yelling at me. Basically saying, how dare you not be a completionist in Pokemon Legends Arceus and see the secret ending? What was the point of you playing if you weren't going to see it through? You know? In regards to the stuff that's going on in gaming right now, holy crap, man. There's just so many games that, like, they all think, I swear to God, video games have a problem now. They really do. I feel like this is a problem that's now happening. Video games feel they are the only thing going on in your life when you're playing them. I mean that. Like, video games now are becoming so demanding of your time.
Truth of the matter is, I just really don't have a lot of free time behind the scenes anymore to do anything.
In order to just, number one, just to get through the stories. But then if you actually want to see all the content of a game, it's like, damn, seriously. You actually expect me to spend like 80 to 100 hours in you grinding and doing repetitive stuff in order to actually see everything in the game and or see the true ending of a game. And I actually feel like it's becoming kind of a problem. You know, at one point, the complaint was the games were too short. There's not enough meaningful content, or there's like, the content's good, but it's too short-lived. So you're paying full retail price for a game that you beat in like 12 hours, and people are disappointed at that. I kind of feel like it's the opposite now. Like, every game is open world. Every game has endless fetch quests / collection quests / grinding, fight a certain amount of enemies to get a certain amount of resource style quests. Or in the case of Pokemon, just catch this Pokemon ad nauseum a million times. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, it just seems to me like, where on earth have we gone with games? It's flipped. Now every game wants to claim that it's a ridiculously long amount of content, but the content isn't, what's the word? Not necessarily edited, curated.
I'm not a sellout. I'm not a shill.
There's no way to tell what's meaningful and what's not. It's like these games are just being padded with so much content to be long, but none of it is meaningful. And that's kind of the situation I'm in right now. If you look at all the games that I played in the month of February, right? Sifu. Oh my God. Sifu was short and sweet. The game's only 12 hours long, but it's an awesome 12 hours. As you play through the game, you're challenged. You fight unique enemies. You see unique artistic style. The bosses are all different and very interesting and creative. And then once you beat it, you got to go through it again and beat it again a different way to see the true ending. But even then, it's not that big of a deal because if you've beaten it once, now you kind of understand the game mechanics and maybe you can go back and beat it again. So you want to talk about short and sweet. That's a great game. Short and sweet and exceeded expectations, right? I think if anything, Sifu was the one game in February that proved you don't have to be a lengthy, drawn-out, side content-filled game to be a good game, you see? Now, take a look at the other games I played last month. Dying Light 2, okay? I mean, I think that game, the definition of the game is side content. Everywhere you go on the map, there's side content. And then rarely you do a story mission. Half the time, you don't even know, am I doing the story mission or is this side content? And what am I doing right now? I don't even know. And then you have to play 15 hours. 15 hours. Longer than Sifu. You have to play longer than another game that came out at the same week in order to get to the part of the game that's the real game. There's 15 hours of build-up filler before you get to the main city, which is the best part of the game. Right? Really, like, to me, it's like, damn, these games, they gotta do a better job. Game developers have to stop assuming that when you're playing their game, that's all you're doing with your life. Because that's what it seems like it is now.
oh, you're playing Horizon Forbidden West? Well, I hope that you cleared your schedule for the next 2 months, because if not, there's no chance that you're going to be doing all the content in the game. Well, maybe I want to play another game. Oh, there's no time for that. What? Oh, I want to juggle 2 games. All right, but now there's so much going on in each game, you'll never remember what you were doing. Like, someone made the point yesterday. They're like, I have no idea how Phil does it, because Phil juggles 3-4 games at a time, and he remembers all those plots, and he remembers all those gameplay mechanics. You know, I have a hard time juggling 2 games. Imagine juggling 4 like Phil does. You're right. It's not easy. It's genuinely difficult to stay on top of what I'm doing, and figure everything out in a lot of these games, because I'm swapping constantly. And when you're swapping constantly, you can forget what you're doing. You can get wrapped up in one thing or another. And then by the time you get back to the game, you're like, what was I doing? That actually happened with a couple games in the last couple of weeks. Like when I was playing Elden Ring so much last weekend, I actually forgot what was going on in the other games I was playing, you know? So, I don't know. It just feels like to me, especially in a month, by the way, I'm decompressing my back again, because my back, my back pain, I'll talk about it in a minute, but I gotta decompress my back. So, what is that? In February, it just felt to me like every game wanted to make the same formula of game. Open world, insane amount of content, but not a lot of it meaningful, and so time consuming that it's like impossible to play their game in another game. That's Dying Light 2, that's Horizon Forbidden West, and that's Elden Ring. They all feel the same to me, even though they're dramatically different games. They all seem to adhere to that same formula. And it's almost like, I feel like in a modern era, what has to happen now is these game directors need to actually step up and actually be, how can I say, like more aware of the climate around them, and more aware of the gaming community as a whole, rather than just hyper-focused on their own projects. Because when you're playing a game, and the story is outstanding, but then the side content seems like a waste of time, that means the game has bad direction. That doesn't mean the game has bad content. It means the game has bad direction. It's the game director's job to make sure that every piece of a game feels meaningful. That if you're going to take 45 minutes away from the main plot to do this side quest, that at the end of the road, it feels like you did something great and you got something good for it. You know? It's not supposed to be one or the other. Oh, I got good story, but it was a waste of time because it doesn't help me advance in the game. Right? Or vice versa. Wow, that was insanely terrible story. It was boring as shit because it was grindy. Oh, but I got a great bow out of it. No, it should be both. It should be both interesting in regards to what you're doing in the game, plus rewarding. And it seems like a lot of games have a hard time doing that, okay? I mean, even Elden Ring isn't immune to it. Elden Ring, first time ever, okay, for a FromSoft game, has completely optional dungeons. And these dungeons are very generic. There's 3 types so far that I found. Catacomb, Cave, or what was the third one? Crap, now it's eluding me. There's a third kind. Oh, well, I know that for a fact that there's going to be like Poison Cave, because we did one in Kaled at the end of the last stream, and that was just a throwaway dungeon too. So these dungeons all look the same. They have this archetype, like I said, either looks like a catacomb or a cave. Same kind of enemies. If it's a catacomb, it's going to have the gremlins. If it's going to have a cave, it's going to have the miners or the mutated freaks or both. And they're kind of not interesting. Just being honest, the more I'm doing them now, I'm realizing they're not very interesting. You go in, you got to kind of explore, look out for a couple jumping enemies or enemies that come around a corner, try to surprise you. At the end, there's a crappy boss that usually is like a throwaway boss. You know, and are they meaningful? Not really. I mean, you might get a good item at the end. I have gotten a few good items at the end of these. That kind of made them feel like, okay, it was cool to do. At the very same time, when you beat it, you're like, okay, it was like 20 minutes long, and I feel like it was kind of crappy, and, you know, was it even really worth doing? Maybe if you're going for the platinum, but outside of that, it seems like these are kind of throwaway events where you don't really get anything good out of it. Like, I'll give you an example. The end of the last stream, people were yelling at me that it was too easy. So do something challenging. I said, okay, fuck this. I'm going to teleport to Kaled, which is the area that you can teleport to way early in the game, but you're so underleveled for it, you shouldn't be there, but you can at least explore and see what's coming in ahead of the game. Now, I rode around Kaled for like an hour earlier in the game just to explore. I didn't even fight anything. I just rode around, and I unlocked a whole bunch of fast travel points and everything, okay? So I said, fuck it. Let's go back. There was an optional cave that I found there. Let's go back and just see what's in the cave. So we went back, and the cave's full of this scarlet rot that I don't even know how to stop because I don't have an ability to stop it. If you get infected with it, basically your health just keeps going down gradually over and over, and you have to heal to stay alive. And it doesn't ever seem to end. It just keeps going. So I run through the cave. At the end, there's a dual boss. 2 different bosses, 2 knights. I think they're called like Crimson Rot Knights or something like that. Or Grave Rot Knights or something like that. One has a giant spear, one has a big scythe, and they have magical powers. So I take them on. And it took a few tries, but I actually fell them. You know what I'm saying? I fell them. And wow, I beat them. That was challenging as shit. It's obviously I'm not even supposed to be here. I don't even have a way to cure the Scarlet Rot. I beat the boss, the double boss. That's cool. What's my reward? A golden scarab. What is that? Oh, earn slightly more runes when you kill enemies. That's my big reward for going ahead in the game and beating something that's super challenging. It's not even, you know, like, what? Who cares? You know, these have always also been an item in previous FromSoft games. They never use it. No one ever uses it because you always want to equip something that's going to make you better. You want something that more HP, more damage, more stamina. Who cares about getting slightly more souls or runes? I was like, wow, what a waste of time that was. You know, it was challenging. It was fun to watch. But I was like, wow, that was kind of underwhelming, you know? And I kind of feel like that's what's happening with side content in all these games now. It's in these games, and this is not just Elden Ring. Like I said, this is all the games. I'm criticizing all the games I'm playing right now. Let's put all this content in, but it's the game director's job to make sure that the side content is worthwhile and in line with the other content in the game. If you're going to take the extra time to pull away from the main stuff and do side stuff, it should feel like it's meaningful, and after you invest the time, it was worth your time. And I'm finding 90% of the time, it's not. It just feels like you're kind of wasting your time. Fuck this game. This fucking sucks. It's such a waste of time.